Hello, Chris Conroy here. Australian aviators have made contributions to the world aviation scene far beyond the size of Australia back in the late teens and early 20s when most of the action took place might suggest. Our population back then was probably 6 or 7 million, and yet our aviation pioneers were responsible for opening up the most important airline routes in the world. Smithy across the Pacific, Ross and Keith Smith from England to Australia, P.G. Taylor to South America. And then there was Bert Hinkler, a son of Bundaberg in Queensland. Among his many enduring achievements was the first solo flight from England to Australia in a light aircraft, during which he was the first to fly solo from England to India. This flight was made in February 1928, and Bert chose his favourite aircraft, the Avro Avian, for the task. The courage and spirit of adventure which drove men like Bert Hinkler has largely disappeared in this age of instant worldwide communication and jet airliners. But fortunately it lives on in the hearts of a few men like Lang Kidby. Lang was the driving force behind the VMI 94 project. This involved the design and construction of an exact replica of the giant World War I Vickers biplane bomber and the reenactment of Ross and Keith Smith's pioneering flight from England to Australia in 1919. The replica, with Lang as chief pilot, commemorated the Smiths' flight on its 75th anniversary in 1994. Lang has always admired Bert Hinkler, and when he found an original Avro Avian in a shed in central Queensland where it had lain for 63 years, the spark of an idea was kindled. Lang has purchased the Avian and commenced a full rebuild to new condition in preparation for the reenactment of Bert Hinkler's flight on its 70th anniversary in February 1998.
Motivation is to bring the pioneers of early aviation to the notice of the public. On our earlier flight with Ross and Keith Smith with the Vickers VMI from England to Australia 3 or 4 years ago, we found the interest right across the world with kids and young people was just absolutely tremendous. And there was a great deal of satisfaction in that, and we feel that if we can bring the deeds of these early pioneers to the notice of the young people, we're providing a great service for the nation. It's a great adventure in itself, and it was even more so when it was done 70 years ago, and these pioneers really need to have their names put forward again and reinforced in the minds of the public.
Now the Vickers VMI exercise really was impressive. I mean, to recreate an aircraft such as that and fly it across the world, will this aircraft and this exercise be as impressive?
I think it'll be more so. The Vickers VMI was done with a huge film crew, backup crews. It was a large aeroplane, very ponderous and required a lot of support. This flight will be done in an original aeroplane. As you can see here, we've got an original 1928 Avian, exactly the same as Bert Hinkler did. No support, no backup, just myself flying the aeroplane, and I believe it's going to be a much more worthy project even than the Vickers VMI project. You've just had a look at the aeroplane and you can see it's been sitting in a shed for the best part of half a century, and we now have to set to work, and in 6 months we've got to completely rebuild this aeroplane to original, from the original plans. Luckily we've found a set of those, and we'll be flying this aircraft with no modifications at all, exactly as Bert Hinkler flew in 1928. The flying side of it should be okay. The aircraft has got a reputation of being a delightful aeroplane to fly. It's very small, it's only 1,000 pounds all up weight. Main problem will be with bureaucracy. Bert Hinkler did the flight in 15 days, and it was no problem in those days as far as the bureaucracy went. Now, with every country being independent, customs, we would be lucky to complete this flight in under 30 days, and that is working from dawn till dark every day.
Well, Lang, you're flying it solo. The lead up, the restoration of the aeroplane, all of the marketing, all of the other things that you have to do, are you doing that by yourself as well?
Yes, we're we're trying at the moment to build the aeroplane and concentrating on that, and I'm doing that from my own resources. But we're looking for assistance wherever we can, and we're hoping that once the aeroplane gets going, we'll capture the imagination of Australian companies and Australian public, and they will see the benefit in supporting this. I believe it's a great venture.
Lang, obviously, as you stop off at the various parts through Europe and Asia, you don't want to just pop up out of the blue. How are you going to let people know that you're on your way?
Well, my wife Bev, who's been a part of all our projects previously, she is very good at administration and public relations, and what she has done in the past is go ahead and alert the press, organise all the administration that's required, hiring cars, fuel, parking, aircraft, and liaises with the press along the way.
Now obviously it wasn't possible in Hinckley's case to produce a documentary, but in this age of communication and visual technology, will there be a documentary made?
Yes, the ABC have funded a documentary, and a documentary crew will be going with us, but they will be going via Civil Air, meeting me at each point, hiring local aircraft as required to do air-to-air shots, and we're hopeful that we'll have a very good record of this flight, and it will obviously be shown worldwide through the ABC networks.
That obviously means that if a sponsor does become involved, they're assured of really powerful coverage right across the world.
That's correct, yes.
Well, Lang, it's a tremendous undertaking, and in fact, logistically, it is a far more difficult undertaking than the VMI was. I wish you Godspeed, and I'm sure everybody watching this wishes you the same.
Thank you, Chris.